mummy's with the maggots now.
Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
Well, hi there.
Hello, and welcome to Would You Die, the show where death has come to your little town, Sheriff. You can either ignore it, or you can help me to stop it. That's right, folks, ladies, and gentle ghouls and boys and toys and friends. It's Ween. Happy Ween, happy Halloween. We did it. We made it. Hello. Hi. Hello.
And I'm Anneliese Petersmark.
I'm so excited. I'm also Austin Torres, by the way.
Yeah. If you didn't know this was coming, I don't know what you thought was going to happen here. I don't know what you thought this podcast was, but we are doing Halloween.
On Halloween week.
On Halloweek.
I'm excited. It's it fall be crispin'.
It's finally here.
We did it. We made it. I love Halloween.
Me too.
It is one of the. It's just.
Yeah, totally.
It is a horror movies fan. It is a horror fan's Christmas.
I mean, like, Halloween is just so perfect. Like, let's just take a minute. It's spooky.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, allegedly, although this year, who knows, the perfect temperature. At time of recording, by the way, it's like consistently 85 degrees still. So,
Yeah.
But hopefully in a couple weeks, by the time this episode comes out, we will be perfect fall weather. The colors everywhere. It's just beautiful.
It's crisp. There's candy.
True.
You've watched your fill of spooky movies.
Mm-hmm.
You're figuring out which ones you want to end the month with, you know? You're being invited to costume parties. And if you're not, I'll invite you.
You're invited to put on your costume and watch Halloween with us.
Yes. But before we get into the episode, I just want to take the time because it is our Halloween episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said earlier, it's a horror movie fan's Christmas. I want to take the time to do a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much for helping keep this show going.
Yeah, we're just so grateful to you for, first of all, we're grateful to every single one of our listeners for even taking the time to bother to listen to our podcast and care what we think about these movies, but also obviously an additional thank you to anybody who pays us to listen to more of us talking about not just horror, but sports and albums and everything in between. I mean...
And the Ice Cube War of the Worlds.
And the Ice Cube War of the Worlds, which... was a horror movie in and of itself. The watching, not the actual movie.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyway, subscribe to our Patreon and you get more of that. But today we are talking about Halloween.
Let's go!
The OG from 1978. So Halloween, directed by John Carpenter, follows Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who's a quiet high schooler in Haddonfield, Illinois, who finds herself stalked by escaped mental patient Michael Myers on Halloween night. Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance, races to stop Michael's killing spree, but the shape proves nearly unstoppable.
Love it.
Same. So, for just going in with our personal connections, I know you have a storied history with this one, so go ahead and tell us about it.
Okay, so when I was a young boy, I was scared of Michael Myers.
As many of us were, I believe.
And I saw a marching band. But
Unrelated.
I was trying to do something there, but it didn't work.
You tried.
Anyways, Mikey Mymy, he used to scare the living bejesus out of me.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing was, it wasn't until I was junior, senior in high school that I saw the original Halloween. It was like fucking Halloween 4 and Halloween 5 and 6, like the not good ones that would scare like 6-year-old Austin.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that were playing on cable TV all the time.
Right.
And I know the original was too, but just never while I was in the vicinity.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until I was a high schooler and I had seen Scream and A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
And other, movies. I was a little older when I saw the original John Carpenter's Halloween. And I thought it was good. I didn't quite appreciate it. But it's one of those movies that, like, I liked more and more every time I watched it. And I think part of the reason why I love Halloween as a franchise, the original is my favorite at this point. But I had, like... It is a slower movie, so when I was a little younger, I was like, it was good, but like, now that I'm older and I have patience, also I can see film-wise what they're doing too.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is the good shit.
Yeah, this is definitely a movie. I'm not even meaning it in a condescending way, but this is definitely a movie for those with media literacy.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to understand the narrative cues in order to appreciate it, and that's not even like very highbrow. I'm just talking in terms of like a 4th or 5th grader is looking at horror movies and going, I want the bloody, scary, jump scary ones. And that's just not this movie. This movie is very much built on tension.
This is not a film that you will enjoy if you're scrolling Facebook the whole time,
right?
Or you're doing laundry. Some movies are,
This is not the one.
No. You look away for a little bit, you look back, you miss something.
Every time.
But yeah, growing up, I was really afraid of Michael Myers. And why I love this franchise and this movie so much now is because I feel like I've conquered that fear. Now, Mikey Mymy is my homie.
True. Real.
We're on first name basis. Like, I got shirts, I got action figures. I'm literally wearing a Mikey Mymy shirt right now. He my homie.
He is your homie. I mean, you've pretty much exclusively referred to him as Mikey Mymy for years on this podcast, and also, by the way, in real life. If you think he's not doing that in real life, he is.
I am, yeah. But yeah, I love Halloween. John Carpenter has become one of my favorite filmmakers. And we can come back to this because I want to know your guys' connections. I think this is the first John Carpenter film we've covered on this iteration of the podcast.
Right. Obviously, in the past you have, but yeah.
More to come, let's be real.
Yes, but this is the first one that we have covered.
And I think it's
on this podcast.
Fitting that we waited for Halloween.
I agree. Yeah.
So what is your personal connection with this film?
I guess the first time that I ever saw Michael Myers was in real life, which is a funny thing to say, but true. I grew up in a very small town. It's like a one-light town in like the base of the thumb in Michigan. Smaller than Haddonfield, but very Haddonfield aesthetic. Like if you look at the neighborhoods of Haddonfield, that was the neighborhoods of the town that I grew up in. Austin's been there once, so he kind of knows the vibes. But when we were in like elementary school, we would go to like around in the neighborhoods trick-or-treating. Yeah. And there were always, every single time, teenage boys dressed up as Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy and everything, just like standing. You know what I mean? Just like doing the thing. Being teenage boys. Unfortunately for me, I am 7, 8, 9 years old. I do not realize these are teenage boys. I think these are scary monsters.
Right.
So imagine my surprise not having any frame of reference, because remember, I didn't do horror movies. My parents didn't. Like, my mom is just now kind of catching up on horror movie lore by listening to our podcast. So shout out to my mom.
Shout out.
But
happy Halloween.
But I didn't grow up around a lot of horror movies, so I didn't really have a frame of reference for Michael Myers. Mike Myers. Mike Myers, different man.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Listen, there were a lot of Shrek costumes when I was a kid too, but not the same.
We grew up in the era of Austin Powers.
That too. But yeah, so I didn't really have the frame of reference of like the lore. I just knew that this very scary man in like a mechanic outfit and a scary mask was like standing
right
in the shadows in my very spooky,
being creepy,
classic Halloween town. Not to confuse with Halloween Town. Again, different movie. But yeah, like, so that was kind of my first personal connection to Michael Myers, the character.
Yeah.
Was that. And then, obviously, as I grew older, I knew who Michael and Freddy and Jason were just culturally. So, obviously, became less scary to me in real life once I realized they were just regular boys being fictional characters.
Just boys being fictional characters.
Just guys being dudes.
Yes.
But, so when I was in high school, I watched the original Halloween once. Again, if you know my lore, which all of you do by now because you've heard me say it pretty much every single time we do one of these personal connections, was not a big horror movie person at all in high school and until I got to college. And I watched it once, and it was kind of one of those situations where I was like, I don't know that I find this movie very scary. Yeah. Because, again, I think I was very used to, when we were growing up, the movies of the time were like the big movies that everybody watched to be like scared were like Paranormal Activity and Saw and all of these like really either bloody or very supernatural movies. So this guy kind of doing a lot of standing in the distance was not really that. So I watched it and I was like, I think it's a good, like, there was never a time where I was like, not a good movie. You know what I mean? Always thought it was a good movie. Didn't really understand why it was like the movie. I think doing this podcast and specifically moving from like horror hater to horror novice to, I would consider myself, I don't think a horror aficionado yet, but I feel like we're on our way.
You're buffing up.
Yeah, exactly. Has made me have a new appreciation for it this time around. And we'll talk about that more when we get to like Letterboxd reviews and opinions. But, but yeah, that's kind of my personal connection. Jeremy, you have kind of an interesting personal connection with this one, actually.
I do, yeah. So this particular movie I saw for the first time last week. The reason being is that my first entrance into Halloween was 2008, is that right? For
2007.
2007, Rob Zombie.
You might have watched it in 2008.
That's probably correct. Rob Zombie remade Halloween. Mm-hmm. I watched that movie in or around 2007. It was close to probably like the DVD release. So it was probably, assuming it came out Halloween time 2007, I probably watched it early 2008. Mm-hmm. It did not sit well with 12-year-old Jeremy.
I can imagine.
That movie's wildly dark. Yeah. And I mean, like, for it's a slasher. It's a horror film. They're all horror films. It's not like they were like this dark take on the hit comedy from the 1970s Halloween. Like, they're all dark. The Rob Zombie one is dark.
Rob Zombie has his own voice.
Right.
That you could say a lot of things about Rob Zombie. That is probably the main one.
Yeah. So that movie freaked me out in a lot of ways. And not just because it scared me, I didn't particularly like it.
Sure.
It felt very, for lack of a better phrase, like torture porny, and that wasn't for me. And it's still not for me. It's really not the type of movie that I enjoy. So it turned me off for the rest of my life. Until now, to Halloween, and honestly to the character of Michael Myers, because my only entrance was that movie. So I was under this impression that that's what the Halloween movies were.
Michael Myers to you,
right? And so I was like, people who like this are sadistic. Like, this is not for me.
Which is crazy because it is kind of one of the most mainstream
Right.
horror movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And watching the
yeah.
original, you understand why. Watching that and having that be your frame of reference, of course you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And, Jeremy is saying this to my face as I'm wearing a Michael Myers shirt, calling me a sadistic fuck.
Well, and so it really...
Austin, you are a sadistic fuck. That doesn't have anything to do with Halloween.
Those are two separate things, man. Correlation, no causation. No, so it didn't. The movie didn't set well with me, and not only that, like you said, that was Michael Myers to me. So I never re-entered the franchise, despite liking horror movies. Similar to like what Anneliese said, I'm not a horror movie buff. I'm becoming more of one by doing this podcast, but I also didn't not grow up around horror.
Right.
I still watched horror films my whole life growing up. I just avoided Halloween because I was like, yeah, it's not for me. I don't like it. So I watched this movie last week, and I get it more, right? I think it's such a... I understand, one, why it's so iconic, and two, the footprint of this film that is felt across so many horror and slasher films. And I understand it more in a real way now. I liked it. I did. I enjoyed the movie. As I watched it and I researched a little bit into the Halloween franchise, I don't know that I'm going to sit down and watch every Halloween movie that's ever been made. It sounds like there's a lot of convoluted timelines that are not necessarily concurrent. But if there's any that you feel I need to watch,
podcast.
if there's any you feel I need to watch, please let me know.
All of them. But here's the thing. Not to pull the curtain back too far, but we will be bringing Slashtober back. Yes.
But so when I was in high school, I watched the original Halloween once. Again, if you know my lore, which all of you do by now because you've heard me say it pretty much every single time we do one of these personal connections, was not a big horror movie person at all in high school and until I got to college. And I watched it once, and it was kind of one of those situations where I was like, I don't know that I find this movie very scary.
Yeah.
Because again, I think I was very used to, when we were growing up, the movies of the time were like the big movies that everybody watched to be like scared were like Paranormal Activity and Saw and all of these like really either bloody or very supernatural movies. So this guy kind of doing a lot of standing in the distance was not really that. Yay. No, that sounds good to me. Surprises given away. No.
But I'm just,
we're spitballing.
We're spitballing.
Things change.
We're doing Halloween this year.
So
78.
For some historical context, Halloween was obviously released in October 1978. It was made on a shoestring budget, less than $300,000, which sounds like so much money when you just like say that, but that's not very much money for a movie at all. No.
And
especially a feature film.
And in 1970s times, that would be equivalent to maybe be equivalent to a movie costing $1 million today.
Right.
Which is cheap for a movie.
Correct. It has gone on to gross over $70 million. It is one of the most profitable, specifically independent films of all time.
It was the most profitable independent film of all time for a while. I forget what beat it out. But it held that title for a long time.
I'm looking it up because I'm curious. Most profitable indie movies of all time. It is now it's a lot easier. It's not like easy, but it is a lot easier to make an independent movie than it used to be.
Right. And more independent movies are going to get shots to get big just on the simple fact that there are more of them.
Right. Exactly.
But like I'm sure like Blair Witch Project.
Yes.
Was cheaper and made more money, therefore it's more profitable.
Yeah, the top 20 most financially successful independent films of all time. The top 2 are horror movies. The number 1 is The Blair Witch Project. Number 2 is Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. So Really can't beat those.
No, but yeah, I mean, like, it's a lot easier now. But in 1978, I mean, that was a big deal because if you didn't have the notoriety, if you didn't have the ad revenue that a
Right. You didn't have the
production-
internet either
studio
to
can
help
give you.
out.
There's no word of mouth. There's no internet. It's just kind of like, I mean, word of mouth, yes, but it doesn't travel as fast because there's not social media.
Right.
So yeah,
And this was a film
really
that
impressive.
in the 70s, like Jaws was the first film to like be a wide release.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can see that. Halloween had to travel. Like couple prints went to New York, LA, Boston, like big city markets, and then they'll go from city to city. So it took a while, not just for word of mouth, but like for people to even see the film.
Right.
They couldn't afford to print that many copies of the film, you know?
Right. This movie also really invented the modern slasher blueprint, which we'll talk about more when we get into the actual meat of Slashtober. But a lot of the stuff that you see in a horror movie, it's from this one. I mean, like, and that cannot be overstated. I'm sure most of the people who are listening to this episode probably gathered that or knew that. Yeah. But some of the stuff that we just take so for granted, especially in the slasher genre and horror in general, were invented by this movie, which I think is important to keep in context as we watch it.
And if not invented by this movie, at the very least popularized.
Yeah, like codified.
Standardized. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Because there's a quote that I've heard this quote about the band Black Sabbath, and you can apply this to Halloween. There are bands before Black Sabbath that you can attribute to having invented metal.
Yeah.
But there is no band after Black Sabbath you can give that attribute to.
Right.
So it's like people will say, like, I don't know, like Led Zeppelin or Deep Purple or whoever, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone agrees Black Sabbath is like, people could argue, well, Deep Purple did this, Led Zeppelin did that, you know. But no one's saying any band after Black Sabbath
right.
is a father of heavy metal. Mm-hmm. Same with Halloween.
Yes.
Well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out first. Black Christmas came out
right
before that. Psycho came out a decade earlier.
Mm-hmm.
No movie after Halloween is credited with being a first slasher.
Yeah.
Halloween is what made, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Psycho and Black Christmas and Peeping Tom. These movies gave elements, and they are very important to the slasher genre. But Halloween is the film where people know what this is a slasher film.
Yeah.
We are coining this term now.
Right.
And retroactively giving it to Psycho and Texas Chainsaw. But Halloween was the movie that just started this whole slasher trend.
Right. So, getting into kind of the meat of Slashtober, let's talk about some of the things that Halloween codified. We won't say invented because that's not true. That's not genuine, but
right.
Codified.
Yeah.
This movie is the blueprint for the slasher genre because of these things.
It perfected the formula.
Yeah. Let's talk about the final girl. Obviously, Laurie Strode, not the first final girl. You have Sue Snell. You have Sally Hardesty from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You have Jess Bradford from Black Christmas. But Laurie Strode is kind of the last of the first final girls.
Right.
She is the one you think of when you think of final girl.
Well, she is the one you think of when you think final girl. Mm-hmm. She is the first in the sense where this is what a final girl is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that is I think the important part, right? Is Laurie is the final girl that kind of takes all of the parts from the preceding final girls and puts it into one. Mm-hmm. She is, unlike Sue Snell, who came before her, she is innocent and meek. And right. She is not, like, Sue was, I mean, Sue was a quantifiable, like, nice girl.
Yeah.
But she was with all of her friends when her friends were out partying, and she had a boyfriend, and, you know, she did all of the things that nowadays we wouldn't associate with the final girl. Like, if we look at Leslie Vernon and kind of use that as, like, our meta blueprint,
Right.
the final girl has to be virginal. She has to be a kind of meeker girl who goes through a transformation of bravery. And that's not something we've never seen before Laurie, but it is kind of the one who brought all of it together.
Right.
So, yeah.
What about the mass killer trope?
Yeah, so that was my next thing. The mass killer trope.
We have one.
We have one now. And if we look back just at this month, at Slashtober, every single one except for one was a mass killer.
Yeah.
Slumber Party Massacre, not a mass killer. Kind of did its own thing there. Scream, we got Ghostface. He's out there. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
I was surprised that he had a mask.
He's got a mask. Freaky, 2 masks. Normal, original mask, Aaron Rodgers mask. Obviously, this was not this month, but Nightmare on Elm Street.
He disfigured.
Kind of disfigured.
Wearing a hat.
I guess. You know.
There is headwear.
There's headwear. There's stuff happening there. But yeah, so we have this mask trope. I'm sure this is not like trivia that nobody knows at this point, but I do find it really funny, and I will bring it up anytime that I have to, that it's just an incredibly fucked up William Shatner mask. Yeah,
because another option, like, because in the script, it's just supposed to be a blank.
Right.
Or whatever, just something. There wasn't a lot of direction in the script.
Right.
So, I think it was Tommy Wallace who was in charge of making the mask. I could be wrong about that. But whoever was in charge of making the mask bought like a clown mask, bought like another option, and then bought a William Shatner mask, cut open the eye holes a little bit wider, spray painted the hair, or like combed out the hair, and then spray painted the face white.
White, yeah.
And created movie history.
It's just so crazy to me. It's so funny. And like, they did a great job, because it's not like you're like, hey, William Shatner mask. Like,
yeah.
Even a shitty one would be like not as good as what they had.
Yeah, nobody's like, oh my god, jump scare Captain Kirk.
Right.
Right, exactly. But yeah, just phenomenal. Michael Myers is also kind of the start of this like silent killer, right? Yeah. We have kind of we've dealt with on this podcast before, like, our mouthy killers, right? We've got our Wes Craven style Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street type killers, but Michael Myers is called The Shape. And I love that nickname. I think that's so underrated. I don't think enough people talk about The Shape as a nickname for him.
I don't think a lot of people really knew about it until, like, people start, like, I feel like that's, mainstream people don't know Michael Myers is called The Shape because it's never said in the movie. Like, the first time it's said in the movie is Halloween 2018.
Right.
Which is, I think, the 10th movie, the 10th or the 11th movie in the franchise. Like, it's a little later. 11th, yeah.
Pause. Do you ever get jump scared when someone else is in a Google Doc that you're in?
I'm not in it.
I know Crosshook Creative is, though.
Oh, shit. They're
like,
going ahead.
Oh, God, it scared me. Anyway, moving on.
They're making.
Yeah, no, I know.
That I'm like, who has access?
I was just like, my heart started racing for no reason. Anyway.
That's funny.
But yeah, you're right. The Shape is not really something that's talked about in any of the movies until we get to, like you said, the 11th in the franchise.
Right. But the fans
know. Yeah. And I think that's, like, it's such a good nickname because it really is what he is, especially to Laurie. She doesn't, I mean, she knows, like, obviously he's a man, but she doesn't always see him. She is, when she does, she sees him briefly. She turns back around and he's gone. He really is just this kind of, like, nameless, faceless shape. in
Right.
the darkness, waiting for her. And that is an amazingly used trope throughout history at this point.
Yeah.
Has been used a ton. And in fact, I almost think it is harder to do than the mouthy killer.
Yeah, because it's like you try and do it. It's Michael. It's discount Michael.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is like he both created this trope but also made it so hard to replicate.
Right.
Which I think is really fun. And I think it's why we have so much like meta slasher, especially like we've talked about it a lot this month. But because if you get to see this like nameless, faceless killer and then get to go behind the mask, that's a lot easier to do than to just
Right.
have this like character with little to no identity. And like no identity is dramatic because we know who Michael Myers is. We know about him from Dr. Loomis and his perspective is working with him and having his backstory.
He's evil.
Exactly. At the beginning of the movie.
It makes me think of Mermaid Man sometimes. I'm watching this movie and I'm just thinking of Dr. Samuel Loomis being like, evil. I forgot you'd never watched SpongeBob.
I got it.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Sorry. I know who Mermaid Man is, if that helps.
Yes.
He has a sidekick named Barnacle Boy.
And he's voiced by Ernest Borgnine.
I did not know that part.
I thought you'd appreciate that part.
That's really fun. But yeah, so we know who Michael Myers is, but
Yeah.
we don't know what he's like as an adult. You know what I mean? Like we see him in the opening scene.
Which is insane, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
Jeremy, did you see that opening scene? Oh, yeah, because you saw the remake.
Yeah.
Never mind. But I feel like motherfuckers in 1978 didn't see that coming.
No, definitely not. So we don't know what he's like as an adult.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we get that he is kind of like doesn't talk, doesn't really do much, but this we don't even really know his like motivation for doing this other than obviously it's where he's from, right? Like he goes back to his own house in his own hometown. Like we get that, but we don't really know like why.
Well, with it being such a blank face, I think that invites the audience to put our own
Yeah, absolutely.
fears into Michael, and that's why I think he's so universal.
Mhm.
Why he's been able to be relevant for almost 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
On our Scream episode, we were talking about today who are the most iconic slashers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is Michael just all time.
Yeah, for sure.
And Ghostface is up there. Obviously, Freddy and Jason.
Right.
It used to be Michael, Freddy, Jason were the big three.
Right.
I think Jason and Freddy lost some power. I mean, people still fuck with Freddy. You know,
I was gonna say, I think
Jason got shooters.
Jason and Freddy have shooters. I mean, we have people who are fans of this podcast who are big Jason and Freddy fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's still probably arguably like the top 4 at the very least. Michael, Jason, Freddy, and I think Ghostface is snuck in there in the top 4. But
I think if you're gonna put Freddy and Jason in that top 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's you'll appreciate this quote, a rotating chair
yeah.
for 4. I think Ghostface is in that.
Yeah, they have to do a block audition every week.
Yeah, Leatherface obviously
Yeah, I
got to
think
be
he
up
does it.
there. Chucky,
Yeah.
you know, and then after those guys, that's when like you think Candyman,
Yeah.
who I don't view him as a slasher, but he does slash with his, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he kind of falls into like the same category where again, not really a slasher, but like Pinhead. Kind
Exactly.
Of falls into that same
But-
like almost like iconic characters of the same vein.
There are
but
certain characters
not
like
slashers.
they're slasher adjacent.
Yeah, exactly.
So for me, that's Candyman, Pinhead, and Jigsaw.
Yeah,
Those
fair.
are the slasher adjacent.
For sure. And then I think the other thing that this movie does
Mm-hmm.
that I'm going to talk about it, you guys know it's my favorite subject, really plays into this idea of the moral panic and the satanic panic that was going on and especially ramping up late 70s.
Right.
This idea of like, it's 9 p.m. Do you know where your kids are? On Halloween, are you checking your kids' candy for razor blades?
Right.
You know, like we're we're talking this like suburban dread that is happening.
And this
you can't even trust your neighbors, and taking everyday safety and making it terrifying.
And this is really the first horror movie, at least I hesitate to say mainstream, but like first horror movie, what's the word I'm looking for? That like a lot of people have seen, you know, I guess mainstream.
Yeah.
Where the horror is in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the other big horror movies of the 70s, Jaws is on the beach. Most of it's on the ocean.
Right.
The Exorcist is like at home, but the threat comes from a whole other country.
Right. Well, and like even if we're talking those kind of precursors to the slasher, Black Christmas, kind of suburbia, but like sorority girls, you know what I mean?
Right.
College town. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, middle of nowhere.
That's
like,
Texas.
That's Texas. Horrifying in and of itself, if you ask Jeremy. But yeah, I mean, like this is kind of that first like.
Psycho is like the motel off the highway.
Middle of nowhere. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. You know, you could maybe make the argument for Carrie, I suppose, but that's about it.
But that don't feel like suburbs. That feels like small town.
Fair. Yeah.
Exorcist is city.
Yeah.
You know,
this
like
is really
the first suburbs.
Very, very suburb. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we've already kind of started getting into cultural impact. I mean, you can't talk about Halloween without talking about it, but it codified the slasher genre, as we said. You can see its influence in every single slasher that comes after this takes inspiration from Halloween specifically.
Every single movie we talked about this month prior to this one directly homages or even references.
Yeah.
Scream's entire third act is scored to Halloween.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, you don't get that iconic Jamie, he's right behind you, Jamie. Like,
yeah. Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, countless others. Michael Myers, enduring horror icon. You will see him every Halloween. You will see teenage boys across the fucking universe standing by trees ominously, dressed as Michael Myers.
I mean, Halloween
scaring 9-year-olds through the whole way. You know.
yeah. Halloween's referenced in not just horror movies, but like TV and movies. Like, I'm sure there are Halloween references all over the place in The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And just like movies in general, but like, have you guys seen Baby Driver?
Yeah.
It could be because like this scene pops up on my TikTok or my Facebook reels every so often. It's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. But when they're doing the heist with Jamie Foxx and Flea and the one guy, and he pulls out the Austin Powers masks, and they're like, Doc says, wait, Jamie Foxx is like, what the fuck is this? And the Flea's like, Doc said get Michael Myers masks. It's like, it's Austin Powers. It is Michael Myers. No, the Halloween mask. It is a Halloween mask. And I think finally Jamie Foxx was like, no, the killer dude from Halloween. And the guy's like, oh, you mean Jason. Everyone's like, no.
Yeah.
I love that scene so much.
I mean, hell, Austin, it's referenced in this fucking podcast. Death has come to your little town, Sheriff. It's the fucking opening. Like,
it is. Yeah, it's the very first. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not only is he a horror icon, but let's talk about Jamie Lee.
Right.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Bonafide movie star.
Movie star, Scream Queen. Actually, kind of funny full circle moment. Actually, two funny full circle moments. First full circle moment, Psycho.
Right.
We've talked about Psycho on this podcast. It was the first episode that we did of this iteration of the podcast. Her mother, iconic character in Psycho. Now she comes into her own as a Scream Queen. And then, kind of just a funny little aside, we talked last week about Freaky.
Yeah.
Which is a horror comedy version of Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday the 13th, really.
Starring Jamie Lee Curtis.
Which just had a new movie come out.
Yes,
I haven't seen Freaky or Friday yet.
Neither have I. I haven't seen it yet.
But yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is like a big... Obviously, this movie propelled the careers of a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to look at Jamie Lee Curtis for a second, Academy Award winning Jamie Lee Curtis, star, like, comedy star, action star.
Mm-hmm.
She starred opposite Arnold Schwarzenegger in one of James Cameron's best underrated movies.
Yes.
True Lies rules.
I also like... I know I've mentioned this show before, but there was a short-lived show called Scream Queens in 2015, which one of the stars of it was Jamie Lee, and she recreated her mother's like famous shower scene. There's tons and tons and tons of horror Easter eggs in that show.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do like a bonus episode about it, or maybe I'll do it. But that being said, that's like if you want to see Jamie Lee like in her combination Vince Vaughn freaky role of like you showing her comedic chops but also showing her horror movie chops, that's the one, man.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal in that. But yeah, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis has since been in not every Halloween movie, but like fucking most of them at this point, right?
More than others.
More than others.
I don't think anyone has been in you know what I mean? Like because it's a wild franchise, but I think
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis, I think Donald Pleasance has been in the most Halloween movies.
Fair.
And Jamie Lee maybe is tied or right behind him.
Nice. The bottom line here is that without Halloween, there is no Slashtober.
Right, yeah.
There may be no fucking podcast, if we're being real. So many...
I thought about it. Jamie Lee is the most. She did pass
Did she?
Donald. But for a while, Donald Pleasance was
Right.
number one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah...
I had to think about it.
There may be no, like, honestly, there may be no thriving horror genre the way there is now without Halloween.
Without slasher films.
Without slasher films in general. I mean,
Right.
like, that is really the subgenre that kind of brought it into the modern, like, helped it survive. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now we have this, like, wonderfully diverse array of subgenres in horror, and everything kind of ebbs and flows. Like, sometimes slashers are more popular, sometimes it's supernatural horror, sometimes it's monster flicks. Like, but regardless, I believe that slashers were the ones that brought it into the shall we say, relatively modern era. And
into the modern era? Yeah.
And I think that's all thanks to Michael Myers.
Yeah, I would say for horror, the modern era is probably 70s to now.
Yeah.
But the 70s were like the best of the best. And the 80s were like the volume.
Yeah, that's real.
And the 80s were slashers. I mean, there's so many other, like, there's monster movies, there's ghost movies, vampire movies. The 80s were
slashers, though.
But
Yeah. Are we ready for our...
We are not, because while we were talking about cultural impact and the big impact it had on Jamie Lee Curtis's career, we also have to talk about the huge impact it had on master of horror, John Carpenter.
Okay.
We gotta acknowledge the master of horror. He
yeah.
If there's one guy who's more master of horror than Wes Craven, it is John Carpenter.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Wes Craven, though, don't get me wrong. But, like, obviously we love him. But we could have easily done John Carpenter month.
Yeah.
I think those are, like... And there are multiple masters of horror. I think you ask a majority of people who is the master of horror. If they don't say Wes Craven, they say John Carpenter.
That's
right.
I think you could argue more people say John Carpenter.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, not to bring everything to sports, but that's how my brain works. You can't have your Tom Brady without also having your Peyton Manning.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's a good... We like sports and we don't care.
We don't care who knows.
That's super fair. Yeah.
I was not expecting sports to infiltrate Ween, but here we are.
Here we are.
We know ball.
So now I'm going to put you on the spot and I'm going to make you say something potentially controversial. Jeremy, who's Tom Brady and who's Peyton Manning?
This is probably a better question for Austin.
I'm going to ask both of you, my friend.
So here's the thing. I saw Halloween like Friday. So,
And that's a good point.
I understand.
So-
At first, I'm like, they're quarterbacks.
this is gonna be
I thought
controversial, but who are these people?
That's what I thought you were saying, and I'm like,
We do
no.
a sports
The goats?
podcast.
So I
sign up for our Patreon.
think just off my limited knowledge,
You're allowed to.
I-
You're allowed to say personal opinion for you.
I think I would still say Wes Craven is Tom Brady and Carpenter is Peyton Manning. Now I'm going off of general consensus of who people believe is the best quarterback of all time. I will argue till the day I die Peyton Manning's a more talented quarterback than Tom Brady ever was. That's a different conversation, but most people would say Tom Brady is 1A and Peyton Manning is 1B. I would say, to me, Craven is 1A, Carpenter is 1B. But again, I'm not as familiar with Carpenter films.
I was gonna say, if we're talking like general consensus, I think it's
Flipped.
the other way around.
Okay.
I think general consensus, John Carpenter is 1A.
Okay.
but how
Wes
do you
Craven
feel?
would be 1B.
Is that what,
Why are you doing this to me?
because I hate you?
I know. I know. I love them both and they're both super like super integral to my core. Shameless plug, if you guys watch my film Ice Cream, that is John Carpenter core.
Yeah, it is.
That is me doing my best to homage John Carpenter. Then it's like Wes Craven is like intellectual, super heady, like super like not theoretical, but just like
Which one would make a better movie about violins?
Wes Craven, because I think Wes Craven just has a better pulse on like sense of like trends and what's cool, and you know,
That's so funny that you're.
John Carpenter is blue collar filmmaking. It is
Hey, I hate. Which one of them's a composer?
John Carpenter. Yeah,
exactly.
But the thing is, like, John Carpenter is to me is such a no nonsense. Like you're getting what you get filmmaker. Like,
fair.
like his like Wes Craven, there's a bit of pizzazz.
Mm-hmm.
John Carpenter is so just like they're so different, but like to me, Wes Craven is the one to like, yeah, I can see him doing a violin
Yeah, fair.
movie, and John Carpenter is like, yeah, I see why he did an Elvis movie.
Yeah.
But no, they're both so great, and I love them so. And they're both writer directors. It's just, to me, I think Wes Craven's he thinks as a writer than he directs. John Carpenter, I think, writes only writes only so he can direct. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So,
Fair.
which I don't know if I'm wording that correctly, but like it's like the vibes are so different. Even though they are both writer directors, they're both musicians. I think Wes Craven was a musician. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a musician.
Mm-hmm.
But John Carpenter, like almost on accident, became one of the most well-known film composers.
Fair.
But it's also because he kind of had to. They didn't have money for a composer. But yeah, I love John Carpenter, and without Halloween, like his run of like The Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing, Christine, Prince of Darkness, They Live, In the Mouth of Madness, Starman's in there too. Master of Horror. He doesn't get, just like Wes Craven, he doesn't get the flowers he deserves. But John Carpenter recently got like a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yep.
And best buddy Kurt Russell was there, and I just think that's awesome.
That is cool.
So, are we ready for our Halloween? Wait, are we ready for our superlative weens? Hallolatives.
Superlawines?
Superlawines. Ween.
Wayne. Yeah. Who would you save?
I would save Annie.
That's mine.
Annie's is so...
She's just so sassy.
I love Annie. Hey, speed kills. Dude, that fucking, like, stop
Yeah.
that Michael does right there. Oh, my God. That's a contender for favorite scare.
It
It's not my pick, but...
Her death is, like, very unfairly brutal.
I think they're all pretty brutal.
Well, yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, I feel like her death is very unfairly brutal.
Mm-hmm. My second choice was going to be the dog.
Fair. We haven't had a good, like, dog death in a while.
You mean a month? Or, like, 2 months?
Yeah.
People under the scares. People under the stairs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 2 months. That's like a long time.
I feel like it should be never.
That's fair, but you're
We
the
had-
one who picked ginger snaps.
We had ginger snaps. We had Jaws.
Yep. There's been more. I just don't remember.
Listen, as we go through the Halloween films, no one hates dogs more than Michael Myers.
That's fair.
Although it is crazy. It is crazier. It's like, because there are multiple dead dogs in this. There's 2, but and you only see one of them.
Right.
But like they like say like, there's a dead dog over there. He ate it. It's
Neat.
Donald Pleasance. I love him so
Sick.
much.
Love that. All right, what is your favorite scare?
When the car, like, after this, that's a contender. But for me, it's that iconic moment where Laurie thinks she had defeated Michael for like the umpteenth time. And then my boy Mikey Mymy just shows off that ab strength and does that insane sit up. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
He works out. And then also he's still alive.
Yeah. Well, now I feel like I have to come up with a different
Oh, was that
one.
yours too?
Yeah.
There are a lot of good moments though.
Yeah, I mean there are. That one's just like so iconic.
Well, how about you take that one and I'll say
Okay.
when she's backing up in front of the dark doorway and then it's just you just kind of see him ever so in the dim light.
Yeah. The other one is when they flash to the gravestone in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's like creepy. Like, cause he
It
dug
is
up her.
He-
His
yeah.
sister's great. Oh, I
That's
don't like
his
it.
sister.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. It's not fun for me, but that's a good one. Okay, I feel like we're going to have the same one for this, but I can't pick another one.
Okay.
Tony Todd Ward for movie MVP.
There's so many options.
There's one.
There's an insane amount of options.
I guess so, but there's one that's like more.
Then you say it.
John Carpenter.
Yeah, he's pretty lit.
He is the director. He
Yeah.
wrote it. He composed it. Like
Yeah.
without him, Halloween isn't there. So while I agree, like there are a lot of people who worked on this movie, who acted in this movie, who did this
Right.
movie that are phenomenal. For me, he's the MVP. This movie doesn't exist without him.
No, I really don't.
Yeah.
I want to.
Yeah, I feel like when somebody does that much, even with a performance like Jamie Lee Curtis, it's like, dog, he did everything.
But listen, you could do everything and have a bad movie,
That's
That's true, but he
which
did
makes
it.
it more impressive
but
that
he
he like
Yeah.
created a subgenre,
Right.
an entire like movement of film, like, and to do it as a kid. He wasn't even 30 yet.
That's fucking crazy.
Like the oldest member of the crew was the 31-year-old cinematographer, who I will be shouting out
Okay.
in a second. But let's go on. Let's stay with the MVP award for a second. Yes, I agree with you, John Carpenter, but I want to give my award to someone who gives me Tony Todd vibes. So I'm going to go with one of the best supporting performances in a horror movie. I know I said that about Pet Sematary, and I'm right about that.
You are.
But for this one, it's also one of the best, I think, and it's Donald Pleasance as
Yeah.
Dr. Samuel Loomis.
Dr. Loomis is, yeah, that's fair.
And as we, throughout the year, through the coming years, as we embark on our Mikey Mymy journey, you guys will know why Donald Pleasance is.
Fair. I mean, he's phenomenal
Awesome.
in this one. So, yeah, I believe you.
And he, to me, is like the Robert Shaw in Jaws of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
They have similar monologues.
They do. Yeah.
He had the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Yep. Yeah, it's good. You're right.
Yeah.
And he does give Tony Todd vibes. I mean, very much so.
Like, whenever you see him in a movie, you know, okay, this movie I just gave this another star on Letterboxd. That's the kind of actor Donald Pleasance is.
That's fair. Okay, I'm going to ask this question. Prepared to give a controversial answer. Is the score better than Jaws?
Yes.
Okay, apparently it's not controversial. Yes, I completely agree. Jeremy says it's more iconic than Jaws.
The main theme.
The main theme, I don't agree. I think that more people know the main theme from Jaws than they do from this movie. However, I think it's better.
It's hard to say. I agree with you, Lisa, just because don't.
Yeah.
But also, there's nothing more crisp than being like you know it's Ween when like
Oh yeah. I mean, like, icon.
I think they're equal. I think they're equal because Jaws you associate with sharks, Halloween you associate with Halloween.
But I think if you do not like horror movies, and trust me, this is coming from somebody who didn't like horror movies until like a decade ago, and has been alive for almost 3. If you don't like horror movies, you know the Jaws theme. If you don't like horror movies, you don't know Halloween.
I disagree. I think if you don't like, I feel like you knew the Halloween theme before you became a horror fan.
I didn't.
Jeremy, did you?
What was the question? Sorry.
He doesn't pay attention to me.
He literally doesn't fucking listen.
And I'm a man.
I listened. I missed the question. What was it?
He's watching fucking baseball.
Do you think the Halloween theme?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think non-horror fans know it?
Okay, so this is what I was gonna say about that when Anneliese was ranting about how I'm wrong. I'm just kidding. So
Surprised you listen.
I don't. So to quickly amend what she said, I don't think that it is more iconic. I think it's as iconic, and here's why I believe that. I think people know the Michael Myers theme song. However, here's where the difference lies. I think when people hear that dun immediately they know it's Jaws. I think if you hear the Michael Myers sound like main theme, you probably recognize it. There's a chance you can't place it.
Well, I think you can't escape the Michael Myers theme during Halloween time. Like you go to Spirit Halloween, I guarantee you it's playing over the speakers. Hell, when you're trick or treat, I feel like Halloween parties and trick or treating, like it would be playing. There's like no escaping it. And for all my homies who did middle school band, you all knew the one percussion player who would play it on the xylophone, the dee 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 dee, or the glockenspiel, or whatever mallet instrument they were on.
I don't know. I think this is gonna have to be an agree to disagree moment.
It's my show. I'm right.
You're not, but that's okay. You're allowed to believe that you are.
Comment and let us know what you think. Comment. What?
Okay.
It's Ween.
Like, that's great. I don't know how that proves your point.
I knew it was Halloween when I heard.
Yeah, you did. You call him Mikey Mymy.
Yeah, you're close personal friend.
Yeah, we are. Friend of
Anyway.
the show, Mikey Mymy.
Either way, this isn't me insulting Halloween because, as I've mentioned, I think it's a better score than Jaws.
Yeah,
and I think Jaws is phenomenal. So, okay, a fine addition to your collection. I assume...
I want to talk about the music more.
Oh, my God. Okay.
But listen, I just want to make one point. I think Jaws is an easier listen on the album.
Yeah.
Just because...
It's more melodic. I mean...
Well, it's more melodic. There's a lot of brilliant orchestrations. There is a lot of repetition in the Halloween score.
Yeah.
But when you're watching the movie, it is so unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so raw. And it's so simple. You thought Jaws was a simple score. No, this is a simple, but it just works. It's primal.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I'm going to win the argument. The Spartan Marching Band has played the Halloween theme. To my knowledge, they have not played the Jaws theme.
Did we not play the Jaws theme when we did the John Williams show? There was a shark on the field.
We did do the Jaws theme.
Okay, so back it up.
What if that was just unrelated?
But here's the thing. I remembered that the Spartan Marching Band, in a show I was not in, played the Halloween theme. In a show I was in and played, I did not remember we played the Jaws theme.
To be fair, that's because it's been completely wiped from history.
That's true. But I remember we played Jurassic Park.
That's fair. That was big for you though. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so was Jaws and Star Wars, but no, I get it. And to be fair, that was 2016. The Halloween show was 2021. It's easier for me to. But all I remember is they played Halloween. I think they played Night on Ball Mountain, and I'm pretty sure they did the Thriller dance.
that's crazy. My sister was in that show, and I completely forgot about it. Anyway,
I think
welcome.
I remember. But anyways, I think I remember because of it just kind of started. I'm like, oh shit, they're playing Mikey Mymy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I totally played Jaws with the Spartan Marching Band.
You were in that literal I can't believe you forgot that. That's so funny.
I did forget that.
That's so funny.
I'm being so... But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love both. Both, they're both iconic.
Yeah.
I just think I'm in October mode. So, I have the Halloween theme.
Yeah. I'm sure you've already played it on repeat.
It's Ween.
It's Ween.
And also, you can play that theme in the club, and it'll be bounce. It'd be bumping.
To be pulling back the curtain a little bit, which you can edit this out if you don't want to. It is not Ween. It is September 30th at the time of recording.
It Ween.
It Ween tomorrow.
I started early.
Okay, a fine addition to your collection. I'm gonna assume you own this one.
I own this on Blu-ray, the 35th anniversary collection,
Beautiful.
and then I have the 4K that came out a couple years ago.
Nice.
I also have hella shirts, hella Funko Pops. I have a really, really cool, foot tall figure, which is, super detailed and stuff. And I have a Funko Pop signed by Nick Castle, who was the original Mikey Mymy.
That's awesome. I think that the Halloween original, not poster, but, movie cover is one of the coolest of all time. With, the pumpkin.
Oh, the original poster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. I want to own that. That's all. I mean, yes, the movie too, but I want to own that.
That poster.
Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, get out your Letterboxd reviews.
Well, bam.
Well, bam. Yours is already ready. Jeremy's always the first to go, and he's always the least prepared.
I'm sorry. Okay, I gave this movie 4 stars, and my review says, does anyone have a wire coat hanger? I locked my keys in my car and also need to disarm Michael Myers. It's really an all-purpose tool.
I love it.
It's very good. I give this 4.5 stars and a heart. And I said, I don't know if I appreciated this as much as it deserved the first time through. What a classic. I've never really understood how a horror movie could be someone's comfort movie before watching this one again, but I think it just might be one of mine.
It's so cozy.
It really is. And that's funny because it is scary. It's not
yeah.
I don't find it scary, but I do think it's so interesting because I used to hear people say specifically Halloween, but other horror movies too, but specifically Halloween would be people's comfort movies and they'd put it on to go to sleep. And I was literally how? And now I'm I could see myself maybe not putting it on to go to sleep because that feels crazy.
That third act when Jamie Lee is screaming.
But
oh.
but snuggling up with a cup of tea and a pumpkin cookie and just having it on in the background.
I feel it's a perfect fall morning movie.
That's so real. A foggy movie, putting that on in the background while you're just sitting and chilling, maybe reading a book.
Drinking your morning coffee.
Yep.
Waking up with some ween.
Your pumpkin spice latte or what have you.
Your Mikey My Spiced latte.
Yeah, exactly.
Your Boogeyman latte. Anyways, my Letterboxd review. I gave it 5 stars and a heart. And I said, I'm telling you, Mikey Mymy got hella abs. You see how effortless that sit-up was? And also, I have reviewed this film 8 times.
Hell yeah.
I've logged it 9. I didn't review it one of the times, I guess. But I logged it 9 times in my Letterboxd era.
Has it been 5 stars and a heart the whole time?
No.
Really?
It was 4, and then 4.5. And then starting in June 22nd, 2022,
You watched this in June?
I gave it 5 stars. So let me give you the dates.
Mm-hmm.
In my Letterboxd era, I watched it on October 31st, 2018.
Yeah.
I watched it on October 31st, 2019. I watched it October 2nd, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it June 22nd, 2022.
Wow, you skipped 21, huh?
I did. I watched it October 31st, 2022.
That's the same year.
Yes.
Okay.
I watched it April 15th, 2023. I watched it October 31st, 2023.
I just need to point out that between the 2022s and that April 2023, that is 3 times in a calendar year.
Yes.
3 times in 365 days.
I like Ween.
I didn't say you didn't. I just think that's crazy.
Dude, on average, I'll watch Jurassic Park 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah, but Jurassic Park isn't specifically and explicitly a Halloween movie. And you can't say it's not. It's called Halloween.
Okay, this year I watched Jaws on January 1st. That's a summer movie.
It is a summer movie.
We
but
need summer dollars.
It's still not called Halloween. You know what I mean? Like, it's not called 4th of July, the movie.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can I not watch Halloween whenever I want?
You can watch Halloween whenever you want. I'm just going to judge you for it.
It's not like, you can only watch it one day a year.
This is a free country for at least a small amount of time.
At least for Ween.
At least for Ween. Maybe.
Maybe.
We survived 30 more days.
They're coming for Ween.
So anyway, 2023, Halloween.
October 31st, 2024.
Yeah.
And September 28th, 2025.
And I assume you're going to watch it again before Halloween this year.
Yeah, I'll watch it again before. I don't know if I'm going to watch it on Halloween this year.
Right. But before then?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I might actually try and do a Halloween series watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, try and watch all of the Halloween movies
Fair.
before Halloween.
Good. Nice.
I need a Mikey My October.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a year.
Fair.
And I deserve this.
You do deserve it. All right. We have no Supernatural alumni this time through. That's okay, though.
But we have a Jurassic Park alumni.
We do. That's true.
Remember how I said we were going to come back to that 31-year-old cinematographer who was the oldest member on the crew? That is Dean Cundey.
Mm-hmm. I did know that.
This is one of his first big movies.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he knew at the time it was going to be a big movie, but this established a great collaboration between him and John Carpenter, which included Escape from New York and John Carpenter's The Thing, which led to him being noticed by Steven Spielberg.
Steve?
That's our boy.
Yep.
Who said, you know what? I like your style. You should do this movie I'm producing called Back to the Future.
Ba, ba, ba.
And
Sorry,
then at
just
some
another
point,
iconic score.
yep. And then at some point, Steven Spielberg said, you know what? Maybe I want you being my director of photography.
Mm-hmm.
And then they worked together on Hook and Jurassic Park.
Yes.
And Dean Cundey is still making films and TV, and he's done a bunch. Because as a cinematographer, you do an insane amount of like varied movies. Like,
I mean, he just did. I mean, his most recent work, he did episodes for the Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian.
he has a cameo in the season 3 of The Mandalorian. So yeah, he's working on Star Wars now.
He also did Camp Rock, which is not important, but is important to me.
He also did Jack and Jill.
That's.
And people was like the filmography of a cinematographer is insane. Because how do you do Jurassic Park and Jack and Jill?
And also Jack and Jill.
But Dean Cundey has far more bangers than he has
misses. That's
misses.
true.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of Nancy Meyers movies, which is funny. He did The Parent Trap. He did The Holiday.
He's iconic.
Yeah, he's great.
Jack and Jill is one of those movies where, like, the fact that script was pitched to anyone involved and anybody was like, this seems like it'll work, is crazy to me.
I hear you. I also think we have to remember that, like, Adam Sandler, although I have my own opinions about the creepy voice he uses in some of his roles, I trust him to make just about anything funny. So the fact that he missed that one, I'll give it to him.
Yeah, the selling point probably was, it's Adam Sandler.
Yeah, that's exactly what the selling point was. Okay. Our special edition superlative. Last one for the month.
Oh.
Best kill.
For me, I'm going to go with Bob.
Dang it.
Well, that one is the iconic.
For me, it's not, like, I mean, it is, like, the pinning him to the wall, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It is the, like, tilted head, like.
That's why we pick it.
So good.
I also like when the toes.
Oh, it's the only emotion he gives us the whole film.
And when the toes curl.
Yeah. Visceral.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I feel it. But yeah, like, it's the only emotion we get from him the whole film.
And it's referenced in so many things. Like, Freaky did it in the opening.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
But, yeah, that, you got to give it to Bob. Mm-hmm. Not that there are any bad kills in this movie, because there aren't.
No.
But that's one where it's like, yeah.
Austin, would you die?
No.
Why not?
Because, one, I wouldn't babysit for anyone. I don't got time for that. Two, I think Michael would see me and recognize me as a friend.
I knew this is where this was going.
I'd be like, I too am a fan of the Ween. And he would let me be.
I don't think that... I just don't think his motivation was, man, I love Halloween.
I love Halloween so much.
He dressed up as a spooky ghost. He decorated.
He dressed up as William Shatner, actually.
And then a spooky ghost.
That's true. He does wear that. I forgot. You're right.
He's kind of a silly, goofy guy if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like me.
Yeah, you, Michael Myers, same dude.
So happy together.
Oh, boy.
How about you? Would you die?
You almost forgot to ask me.
Yeah, I did.
I don't think so.
Because you're not a teenage girl babysitting?
I'm not a teenage girl babysitting. I'm not a small child who is scared of the boogeyman.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly spend Halloweens either in a large group of people, hanging out, having fun, or I am at home watching scary movies.
Would you be one of the assholes where Jamie Lee Curtis is like screaming bloody murder down the street, and she goes to the one neighbor's house and they turn on the porch lights, they see they like look outside, and then they close the blinds and turn the light off?
I don't think I would be that dramatic. I don't think I would hear her because, again, I would be watching scary movies. They would probably be up loud.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would hear her. So it wouldn't be on purpose that I let her get killed, but it would happen probably.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I almost forgot to mention it. But yeah. Sorry, Mikey.
Sorry, Michael. All right. So where can the people find you?
You can find me carving jack-o'-lanterns and watching Howard Hawks' The Thing on Halloween night. I'm doing my thing, celebrating Ween. You can also find me on the social medias at Austin M. Torres. Follow me on Letterboxd if you like my taste in movies. And follow me on Instagram for everything else. You can find the show on YouTube at Would You Die Show, where you can listen to these episodes again, watch our show Spooky Spotlight, hosted by Deanna Hope, and watch my short films like Ice Cream, which is very John Carpenter coded, if I do say so myself, Spider, and The Blood Witch, which I think is a pretty fun movie for Ween.
True.
And you can subscribe to us on Patreon, where we have bonus episodes, sports ball, and more. ... Where can the people find you?
The people can find me chasing down an escaped convict from my sanitarium. Or on social media, specifically Instagram and Letterboxd at Whimsawillow. I post a lot of bookish stuff. I also post a lot of photography. So follow me there. What about you, producer Jeremy?
You can find me this October watching the scariest thing that William Shatner's face has ever been a part of. Priceline commercials. You can also find me at Annually Funny on all of the socials.
That's good. Our production is done by Jeremy Lippitt. Our music at the beginning and end of every episode is done by the wonderful Josie Palmer. Our beautiful graphics are done by Alec Gibson at Crosshook Creative. Austin, do you have a hint for next month?
Next month, the melodies are coming out. We all will sing the songs from our heart as we're tackling a genre mashup that don't happen too often, but when it does, it's just chef's kiss.
We're watching Music of the Heart 4 times.
My hint for next week's episode, let's just say it's about a mean green mother from outer space. And he's bad.
Hell yeah.
Until then, I'm Austin Torres.
And I'm Anneliese Petersburg.
Try not to die.